Welcome, seekers of truth. Today we step inside the dark halls of eternity to face a grim truth. In popular films, hell is always drawn as a fiery kingdom where red beasts torture lost souls. Yet, modern clinical reports of clinical death bring back a much more horrifying truth from the void. There are no crowded rooms or loud sounds down there, only absolute darkness and painful isolation. Are you brave enough to look into the grim domain that Christ warned humanity about so many times? Let us pull back the heavy veil of medical science and decode the ancient biblical secrets of Hades. The ancient Gospel of Luke records a historical reality through the story of two distinct men. There was a certain rich man who wore royal purple robes and lived in luxury every single day. His palace was made of thick white limestone, protected by heavy copper gates and elite guards. Right outside those massive gates lay a helpless beggar named Lazarus, covered in painful sores. He starved daily, longing to eat the tiny crumbs that fell from the wealthy ruler's dining table. No human hands comforted him. Only feral scavenger dogs came to lick his raw, weeping wounds. According to ancient texts, a sudden day arrived when the poor beggar finally closed his eyes and died. Holy angels descended immediately to carry his soul into paradise, directly to Abraham's side. Soon after, the proud, wealthy elite also breathed his last breath and was buried in a grand tomb. But his conscious mind did not rot away inside the dark earth with his physical body. The scriptural record states that the rich ruler opened his eyes while trapped deep inside Hades. He looked up from the depths of the underworld and saw the glorious light of paradise from afar. There sat the holy patriarch Abraham, with the comforted soul of Lazarus resting peacefully by his side. Does your conscience remain fully awake when your heartbeat stops and your physical body dies? The wealthy man cried out in desperation, begging Father Abraham to show a small act of mercy. He begged for Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in cold water to cool his burning tongue. The biblical text confirms that he was tormented by a real, agonizing heat in that lonely place. Even without a material body, his spiritual senses felt the terrible weight of unyielding thirst. But Abraham reminded him of the absolute justice governing the eternal realms of the afterlife. During your earthly existence, you received grand riches while Lazarus endured nothing but bitter pain. Now this righteous beggar is comforted forever, while you are left to suffer for your cold heart. Beyond this moral equation, Abraham revealed a definitive law of cosmic architecture. Between the realm of light and the depths of torment, a massive spiritual chasm has been fixed forever. This great gulf prevents any traveler from crossing over from one territory to the other side. No one can escape the shadows of punishment, and no one can fall from the high paradise of God. Realizing his own doom was permanent, the rich man remembered his 5 living brothers on earth. He pleaded for a supernatural warning to save them from arriving in this terrible place of grief. Yet Abraham answered that humanity already possesses the sacred laws of Moses and the prophets. If they refuse to listen to Holy Scripture, they will not believe, even if someone rises from the dead. This ancient chronicle leads us directly into a profound theological true crime investigation. Many modern people who survive clinical death claim they saw a beautiful tunnel of pure light. They report feeling an overwhelming sense of cosmic peace, warmth, and absolute cosmic acceptance. Based on these pleasant illusions, they declare that there is no final judgment for human sins. They tell the world that the afterlife is welcoming to every soul, regardless of earthly choices. But ancient biblical code exposes a terrifying deception hidden behind this blinding brightness. The second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 14, issues a dark warning. Holy Scripture explicitly states that Satan transforms himself into an angel of beautiful light. The prince of deception can fabricate a counterfeit paradise to entrap unsuspecting souls. He creates a temporary illusionary waiting room to deceive people before they return to life. Once revived, these individuals preach that the afterlife holds no moral consequences or wrath. They become blind messengers, convincing the masses that the warnings of Christ are totally false. This is the ultimate spiritual ambush, blinding humanity to the reality of the outer darkness. The real underworld described by Jesus is not a red cavern filled with loud, chaotic activity. True damnation is defined as the total, absolute removal of every good gift of the Creator. God is the singular source of all light, all comfort, all love, and all refreshing water. To be cast out means to enter a void where none of these divine attributes can ever exist. Imagine a realm of complete sensory deprivation, where your own memory becomes your cell block. You will remember every single chance you threw away, every warning you laughed at on earth. The biblical phrase weeping and gnashing of teeth describes this supreme psychological torment. It is the sound of absolute regret, realizing that eternity is locked and the key is lost forever. Another massive misconception propagated by modern media is the hierarchy of damnation. People mistakenly believe that the devil sits on a dark throne, ruling over the lake of fire. They view the enemy as a cosmic prison warden who inflicts pain upon human wrongdoers. If you stood at the edge of eternity today, could you distinguish true light from a holy trap? The prophetic books of the Bible shatter this false imagery with absolute doctrinal clarity. Satan does not govern the underworld, nor does he possess any keys of authority in that place. The Gospel of Matthew reveals that hell was originally prepared for the devil and his angels. It was designed as a maximum security cosmic prison to neutralize the first celestial rebels. The book of Revelation states that the ancient dragon will be cast down into the sulfurous lake. He will not be holding a weapon or issuing commands to torture the inhabitants of the pit. Instead, the great dragon will be screaming in agony, crushed under the weight of divine wrath. The demons you fear are actually shivering in terror, waiting for their own final day of doom. The book of Jude records that these fallen spirits are already bound in everlasting dark chains. They are locked beneath the foundations of the world, unable to escape their impending judgment. They know their time is short, so they fight desperately to drag humanity down into their cell. Every temptation, every lie, every illusion of a peaceful death is a calculated war strategy. If the enemy can convince you that hell is a myth, you will walk into it with open eyes. This is why the Messiah spoke about this destination more than he spoke about the glories of heaven. His descriptions were deliberately terrifying because the stakes of human soul are infinite. He spoke of a place where the worm does not die and the consuming fire is never extinguished. These heavy words were not meant to manipulate through fear, but to rescue through ultimate truth. They are the desperate warnings of a loving Creator trying to pull His children back from a cliff. Every human being stands on a moving walkway, heading directly toward the grand line of death. The choices you make within this brief mortal span echo across billions of years in eternity. We must realize that the abyss was never engineered to hold a single human being. It is the designated junkyard of the cosmos, reserved for the ultimate destruction of pride. But if a man chooses to align his heart with the rebellion of Satan, he inherits his fate. If you cling to the values of the deceiver, you must walk with him into his viper's nest. You are never truly alone. In the dark, your choices are being watched by entities unseen. Before a soul is pulled down, there are covert cosmic officers gathering evidence of every sin. They record every second without blinking. Click now to discover the secrets of the Watchers. Hell was never created for human souls, but for Satan and his rebellious angels of old. Is the light tunnel a peaceful transit or a dangerous demonic trap? Share your thoughts below. To uncover more deep biblical mysteries right now, like this video and subscribe today.